Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of arcade games. We're just going to finish where we left off, where we had created kind of the start of a working Pong game. At the end of the last video, I forgot to insert my touching paddle command into my forever loop. So now once it hits the paddle, it will bounce. And I couldn't get my paddle to my sprite fast enough at the end of the last video, so I changed how fast my paddle is moving, or how fast my sprite is moving, by decreasing this to 5 steps instead of 10. So when it was at 10, it was bouncing pretty quickly, and now at 5, it goes a little slower to give me a fighting chance. So what we're going to do now is, like I talked about before, we are going to improve our paddle and decrease that lag time, which is just going to be a little bit longer of a procedure. But we are going to no longer need the when up arrow pressed commands, but I'll leave those for reference so you can see what we're doing next. And we don't need this. That was just an example from earlier. But we need a cause and effect again. So if, and we're gonna come and use key space pressed, but we're gonna again use up arrow. And then we're gonna take this, oh, actually, we're not. We're going to set instead of change. Set Y to Y position plus 5, whatever. It'll just go up by how much you determine it to, I guess. So we'll do a plus operator. And we want our Y position to change by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're using 5. So see how if I get rid of this, then we can use this one now. And I'm just going to duplicate this because we want one for the down arrow. And you could have used a minus operator. There's one right here, but I'm just going to put in a -5. And then we can get rid of that. And now we can put this in a forever loop. And something a little easier on us in the future will be if we add a green arrow. So if we're working in another script like the sprite, we can press the green arrow and this whole command sequence will become activated, so we won't have to move into the paddle script to activate it. So now we can, and see how much smoother that moves. Earlier we had such a lag that I couldn't even get to my sprite. And you can just hit the red circle to end all of that. Next, something else we can do is add a sound. So when our sprite hits the paddle and bounces off, it'll play a little, or whatever sound you choose. But we're gonna come back over to our sprite and we're gonna work in our touching paddle. I'll just come down here and change it. Touching paddle command, and we are going to come over to the sound category and we're gonna play sound. We have to grab a sound. Can record a new sound. Where do I find Oh, up here, I think. Sounds, yes. I knew where that was. Okay, we have to import a sound first. One we want to use. We'll use this pop sound. Sounds like a good one. Okay, now we can use a pop sound. Ooh, gotta click my green arrow so I can. Yay. Nice little sound there. And then the last thing, we're gonna add a randomized component to our bounce procedure where it will just make our script movement or our sprite movement a little more unpredictable, make the game a little more interesting. Because if it's going in the same direction every time, you're gonna be able to figure out, you know, where it's gonna be next. But right here, we are going to add an operator that is going to be plus. Exit angle plus random, a random element. So what we want to do is create, we'll come over to here. We're going to come back to this bounce procedure, but we are going to make a reporter and we're going to name it random element, random component, anything. So we are going to use pick a random number, -20 and 20, whatever you would like. But so now we're going to add that random component into our bounce. Alrighty. I am also going to put a green flag on my commands right here so that everything starts up when I hit the green flag. Game time. We got our pop sound. We got our fast moving paddle. Switched up on me there. But yeah, just a few improvements that you can make on your game.